Welcome back to the D4 channel, and today will be a very short video but a cool one, and it's about what Sam Witwer told me at Orlando Megacon 2026. If you don't know, Sam Witwer is the voice of Darth Maul, and he told me some pretty cool things. But before we get to that, please subscribe, like, and comment to the D4 channel. Do all of those things. Please follow us on this side of the YouTube galaxies, please, and comment. We will respond to all of your comments, and hit the bell for notification for every time we upload a video. But without further ado, let's get to the topic at hand. So this year I went to Orlando Megacon, and I had a very special mission. Most of the main cast for the Clone Wars were there, but Sam Witwer, who I believe wasn't there last year at Megacon, but he was here this year, and I am a big fan of Sam Witwer ever since I played Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. I've been following his career. I've seen him in Being Human. He's been in Smallville, another show I love about Superman. He's obviously the voice of Darth Maul. He's voiced Palpatine in the Force Unleashed games, and he's been in a couple other video games as well, like Days Gone. So I had to speak with him. Now, I'm the type of person where I don't really like to pay for someone's handwriting / signature or photo. I would rather talk to the person, just see how their day is going, pick their brain about the projects they're in. But in this society, you can't talk to people like Sam Witwer unless you pay to either get their signature or get a picture taken with them, which, I really don't regret. So I did get him to sign this StarKiller art. I forget, I think the guy's name is Andres Garcia, who did the art. As you can see, this is StarKiller, specifically from The Force Unleashed 2. And the artist signed his name as well, but Sam Witwer signed his signature here. I'll have an image of the signed art on in the B-roll. But yes, so I did get his signature, and as I was going through the line, I was thinking about what am I going to ask him, because I met Ashley Eckstein I think a year or 2 years ago, and I was like a bumbling idiot. When you meet these people, you don't think they exist until you finally see them in front of you. So I end up kind of just talking about like how I loved him and all the media that I've consumed that he's been in, like Force Unleashed, like Being Human, that type of stuff. And then I asked him, because I saw the trailer, the last trailer, we reacted to it, and I told him I very much enjoyed the trailer. And then he said something funny like, you probably enjoyed it more than Darth Maul's enjoying his time in the Empire. And then I asked him a question, because in that last trailer in the Maul Shadow Lord, Maul throws his lightsaber up at the walker and cuts it in half. And I thought that was a very Star Wars Force Unleashed reference in that trailer. So I asked him, I said, did you have any input? Because I saw like you had a little StarKiller influence in that trailer. Did you have a little input in Darth Maul doing more StarKiller stuff, since you, Darth Maul, and StarKiller are so intertwined? And he actually said no, he did not have any input on Darth Maul doing that particular shot in the trailer, but he did say they had a lot of StarKiller Force Unleashed references in Darth Maul. So I thought that was very interesting. Maybe he was tired and like his guard was down, because I really didn't expect him to give me that much information. But he said there will be some references to the Force Unleashed games in the Maul Shadow Lord TV show. And I thought that was very fascinating. And I guess because they know he obviously voiced StarKiller, he didn't give them any input to do any of that stuff. They just did it because, they're obviously linked. So now it got my head spinning. We saw Darth Maul throw the lightsaber to cut the walker in half, something StarKiller would very much do in the Force Unleashed games. So it got me thinking, what are other things Darth Maul may do in this show that StarKiller has done in his video games? So I'm thinking, obviously they're not going to go so crazy with the Force where it becomes like a crazy overpowered superpower. But I'm thinking some of the moments in maybe Force Unleashed that we might see Maul do. Now, we've seen Maul grip large objects. Now, I'm not saying he's gonna grab a Star Destroyer out of the sky like StarKiller, but I'm gonna say he grabs a ship or a couple of like smaller fighter ships and either tosses them into each other or have them crash using the Force, which would be very much a Force Unleashed thing to do from StarKiller. Also, maybe some moves. The new clip that came out, we see him deflecting the blaster bolts. Now, obviously, if you're a Force user, we've seen them do it many times. But the way he does it is kind of the way StarKiller does it, where he causes mass amounts of damage just by deflecting the bullets. Also, I'm gonna assume some of the moves that StarKiller does in the game, we might see him do like force repost. It's a move where you basically do a force push, but it's like all around you. We might see Maul do something like that if he's surrounded. We know he's on the run. He's underground. He's with criminals. It's him and his criminal empire versus the actual empire. So there might be a situation where he's surrounded and he uses the force repost, and we're like, hey, that's a StarKiller thing. So I think that's something that's going to happen. More like in-depth things that may happen that are not cool, just action moments. He may get a droid like Proxy to be kind of his quote-unquote best friend. Maybe the droid could shapeshift in some kind of way. That would be cool. It would be a cool little nod to Proxy in the video games. Maybe he gets... Okay, well, I don't think he's gonna get a love interest like Juno, but maybe we know he may or may not get an apprentice in that Twi'lek Jedi girl. But will he have another human, whether alien or humanoid, where he might have some feelings for? Because now he's not Darth Maul anymore. He's just Maul. So now he can let more emotions come in, and maybe love is one of them. That's probably a far-fetched one, but it's cool to think that Maul may fall in love in this era. Big one. Vader, fighting Vader. Now, I don't know whether it's going to happen in season 1. I don't even know if this is going to have more seasons. But if he does meet Darth Vader, and if it is in this season, in season 1, will the fight go kind of like how StarKiller's fight with Vader went? Up until the point where we know Vader has to beat Maul, because again, in Rebels, he says he cannot fight Vader alone. So the only way he knows that is if he fights Vader. But will that fight kind of go the way StarKiller and Vader's fight went in the game, minus the fact that StarKiller won? So that would be very cool to see. If he's going to run into the Emperor again. But he can't really run into the Emperor, because once the Emperor catches him, that's wraps for him. So I doubt he'll run into the Emperor. But yeah, there's definitely a few things in the Force Unleashed games that he may or may not do, and I'm leaning more towards the superpower combat aspect of it, because most of the thematic stuff from the Force Unleashed games, obviously, I don't think could happen to Darth Maul, because those are two different stories being told in relatively like the same era, but in a different time point in the era. So I don't think any thematic emotional stuff will be taken from the game. So I think, and since Maul's such an action-oriented character, I think he meant more of like the action stuff that we might see from Maul that may mimic StarKiller. So force powers, lightsaber techniques, stuff like that. So I just thought his comments was a cool one, and I kind of ended up just rambling because my mind is spinning. Like I really can't wait to see this show, because now I'm going to be really looking out for all those Star Wars The Force Unleashed callbacks in that show, and if there is any, more than just the Walker being torn in half by the lightsaber, that would be very cool to see. But all in all, my interaction with Sam Witwer was very cool. I wish I had more time with him. It seemed like he talked to some people longer than 5 minutes, and then some for 30 seconds. And I got there relatively late, so I know at that point he was pretty tired. But it's very cool to have, like, this is my first autograph signed piece of work from someone famous, so I'm very happy with it. The artist who drew StarKiller, I think he did a fantastic job, and obviously, now it has Sam Witwer, so expect that to be somewhere up on this wall here. It's probably gonna be on top of this thing in a very gold special frame to let everybody know that this is probably the greatest piece of work I have in my collection. So I'm very happy to have that. But you let me know what you thought of Sam Witwer's comments in the comments below. Do you believe him that we'll see a lot of or some of StarKiller's moments in the show? Please let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you played the Force Unleashed games and all that stuff with Sam Witwer. You let me know what you think will be shown in Shadow Lord that will reference the Force Unleashed. You let me know in the comments below what you think it is. I'll be very excited to see what you guys think it is. But again, like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications for every time we upload a video so you get notified on the spot. And again, comment, because I will respond to all of your guys' comments. And without further ado, may the Force be with you guys. Peace.